Welcome to Five Dive, the 5-minute deep dive into startup tactics with the experts. Today we have Thomas. Welcome from StartLife.
Thank you. Yes.
Thomas, how about you introduce yourself?
Sure. All right. So my name is Thomas. I'm working as a program manager at StartLife. And basically what we do is we help early stage food and agricultural companies in their early phases. And in the end, we hope to help them scale. And we do that in different ways, mainly to provide early stage funding, coaching, mentoring, and the right trainings to really give them the tools they need to grow their company.
Awesome. Thank you, Thomas. We're just going to fly through these questions. First one, what are some of the greatest challenges food startups face when they're entering the market?
Yeah, sure. So mainly I would summarize this as access. So a food startup is quite different from a software company in general, in that you have to work with multiple actors in supply chains, both in terms of sourcing your ingredients, your inputs, as well as your processing. And in the end, of course, you need a sales channel to enter these large markets. And the reality is that startups cannot do this by themselves in isolation. So the key thing is to have access to suppliers that know how to work with startups, access to a network of co-manufacturers, co-packers, and then also access to sales and marketing channels that are mainly controlled by a small number of larger companies.
Awesome. I think that lines right into the next question, which is, what do you tell startups, how do they scale some of those fulfillment processes, especially packaging and cooking?
Yeah, exactly. So these are the questions that we get all the time. So actually only yesterday, there was a startup called Green Banana producing pasta products from green bananas from Africa. And he was talking to me about how he was so frustrated not having the right partner in terms of production and fulfillment. And so it's a big issue for many food startups. How we tend to solve it is two things. In the very early stage, when a food startup has only a small production series, there are specialized test kitchens, small scale kitchens here in Wageningen, in Amsterdam, in different places in the world, that can accommodate a multitude of food startups with sort of facilities that most food startups need in the beginning. Then when you get to the next step, it's quite crucial that you have larger scale co-manufacturers who are able to take your product really to the next level and produce in the hundreds of thousands scale. But also at that point, we try to connect startups to corporate partners. So we call that corporate startup engagement, where large ingredient companies, but also large food companies, including Unilever, know that startups need them, but also they need startups. And together you get this benefit of startups being able to have their fulfillment, have their sales and marketing channels, and have the right partners to do things like packaging, etc. And in return, the corporate has first-hand access to these novel products, these novel technologies, and also the talent behind some of these startups.
Awesome. That sounds like a good acquisition strategy too for a lot of these startups.
That also goes both ways. So the corporate is there from the very beginning and has the first right of refusal often in these kinds of acquisitions. Okay. And then at the same time for the startups, if you choose wisely, of course, this can provide a nice long-term exit strategy. Yes.
Yep. Awesome. So, okay, what are some of the things that you're looking for in startups, that are looking to join the StartLife Accelerator?
Yeah. So the main thing that we keep looking at is obviously the team. So we know that there is a ton of great ideas out there. So basically what we say is ideas are cheap. It's all about the team and execution. So we are looking for really that passion in entrepreneurs, the commitment, are they doing this as a pet project or are they investing their personal savings in it? Do they have a complementary team? Do they understand how food value chains work? And at the same time, do they know everything about that technology? If that's, everything is in place, then great. That's already a great first step. Then obviously we look for things like how innovative is this proposition? Is it a Me Too product? Everyone is doing it. Or do you truly have a novel ingredient or truly you have a novel production process?
Right.
preferably even some IP, but it's not a requirement. And then we have the basic requirement of startups that have to be in either the food, agriculture, or life sciences domains. That's basically what we look for in the beginning.
Awesome. Hey, Thomas, I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for joining Five Dive today.
You're very welcome. Thanks.